I'm trying to do a little video about a new feature that Rever has. Basically, you pair your GoPro. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with others, but you go into the profile, you go into gear and garage and gear, and you'll see add, and then you'll see GoPro. Now I've already added the camera, and because I've got other cameras around, I don't want to. You want to do this with just the one camera. If you have any other cameras, do it one at a time, and have all the other cameras far away from, so that, because it'll activate all the cameras, and then it won't know what to connect to. So basically, I've added the camera, and when you get into this mode, you see the camera there, and I've activated both of these. I won't activate them at the time, but you circle the, so if I want to create this thing, I want to, let's see, because I'm not sure whether it will actually turn the camera on or whether I have to have the camera on. I've noticed that it will actually turn the camera on, and I thought, well, let's see if it will and actually record at the same time. So you start the drawing, and you circle the area you want, end drawing, save it as and you can see it's green is active and those are inactive. So when I go to record, you don't have to record, you just have to have the app open, I think. It's a new feature that allows you to have your camera record when you want it to. I have on the occasion had a remote here for my camera on the dash and a remote here for my GoPro Max on the trunk. The problem is I've gotten so into the ride, we get to the other end for lunch, and it's like, oh, I forgot to hit the record button. So I like this idea if I can get it to work. There really is no instructions. You sort of have to figure it out on your own. So I'm going to do a video, and I got it to work. But the first time I did it, I have other videos of where I've mounted my GoPro Max. This is a switch pod tripod. You can close it up and use it as a handle to mount so that when you're walking, you can have it away from you when you're looking into it. Or you can open it up as a tripod, and it's the only one I've seen with holes in it so that I can attach it to the rack. And then I've got a 7-inch, 8-inch. It's a extension. And then I've got the camera up there. And unfortunately, when I put it on back on Tuesday, I checked everything, but I didn't check the tightness of that. And when I got off the bike and looked up at my camera, it was missing. So I lost my Max. And then I tried again, only the Max, the brand new Max, was set to normal camera, which means I got everything from behind me and not 360. So now I'm going to try again. I found that just using tie wraps to attach this, they tend to break either by movement or by the fact that someone probably, even though I take the camera off, I found a couple of them cut to where someone was trying to cut through them. So I decided to add these turnbuckles to make sure that it's stuck there. And I've got a leash, a lanyard for the camera. I make sure I'm not losing that thing again. You buy it from the GoPro website, and as you remember, you get quite a discount. I saved $140 from buying it at Best Buy. So, and it makes really good videos. So now I'm gonna turn it on to record. I'm gonna make sure my music is all the way up, And I'm going to get going and see if it will actually turn the camera on and record, or if I have to have the camera on and in standby to actually have it work the way I want. So some people are mentioning that they didn't know they had to wait. No, you don't have to wait for the newer bikes for that little blip to come up in the dash. You can push the mode button, turn it on, and get going way before that comes up, because obviously it won't come up. So let's see if this works. Well, I don't know how I can tell if my camera did record, other than to... It's still there. Did it come on? Let's see. It did. And I don't know whether it recorded or not, but it looks like something happened. So here's a better view of my turnbuckles and little bolts that bolt into there's threaded holes every so often in this rack, which was made for an enduro touring type bike. I'm going to have to tie wrap that so that it doesn't rattle so much. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to lose the camera this time. Now I can get on with the ride. If the 360 video works, which is what I hope it does, Let's see, go to music, volume up. I'm finding that if you actually have the music playing when you turn the bike on, push the joystick in. I mean, the screen hasn't even come up yet, and I can put it in gear and get going. The older bikes required you to wait for that little blip in the screen to come up, but the newer bikes, you don't have to wait for that. You have to press the mode button, but you can do it right away. And if you read the owner's manual, you'll find out there's a lot more neat little features about these bikes that are really cool. Now let's get my music is playing. Genie, oh wait a minute, it was, and it quit. Something is so let's finish the ride. When I make 360 videos, I'm making a normal video right now with the two cameras on my helmet and on the dash, but you can't insert a 360 video and make it look the way you want it to. It doesn't work that way. 360 video has to be done separately if you want to upload true 360 video. But what I do is I download the video to my phone, and I use their GoPro quick app. You can get into edit mode, and you can find it's a little complicated to find it, but there's 3 dots. You touch them and you choose over capture. And when you move the phone up, down, left, right, whatever, you're seeing all the 360 image and video. And you can put the video into a section where you want to record, and you hit the record button, and as you move the phone, it's a lot like you're recording again from the 360 recording. So it's like you're sitting back there recording video, and it takes a little extra because you have to do all the video and then download it. And I found sometimes when I'm riding with friends, we get somewhere for lunch, the first thing I do is connect the camera to the phone and start downloading the video. And by the time I'm halfway through lunch, it's finished, and then I can just stand there. And it looks weird that you're holding the phone and you're turning the phone this way and that way and left and right and up and down, but I'm actually making a new video from the 360 video. And it really makes a cool video, and it becomes a normal video that you can add to other normal video like I do with the 2 other cameras. And if this Rever feature really works, because it did work, it's just that my camera was set to normal video and not 360, but it did work. And the frustrating thing is that I'm going to have to play with it to really get the hang of exactly what I need to do to get it to work. Sometimes when you turn the camera off, it's sort of on standby and it's waiting for you to activate it or waiting for the app to activate it. This last night I checked my Macs to make sure everything's good, and the battery was completely dead. So even though it's off, it was still waiting to be turned on, and it went dead. So I had to recharge it. So I'm still playing with the, okay, how do you get it to work kind of thing. And I'm hoping that this will work. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try again. Being on a Sunday and being as it's one of our hottest few days of summer, luckily I'm in the Bay Area, so we don't get it quite that hot, or at least where my house is. It might get into the high 80s. But if I go into the Central Valley, which I have no intention of doing, it's going to be in triple digits, 108, 110 in some areas. So if I ever had to, I'd do it in a car because the car has air conditioning. But it's a toasty one today, tomorrow, Tuesday, and even by the end of the week, it's not really going to be that much cooler. Now we have what's known as Carl the fog, and it's our natural air conditioning. But on the odd occasion, when the wind blows from inland out to sea, we get the hot temperatures. And eventually things change and we get the cool temperatures again. I remember many years ago, my dad, we were watching TV and watching the news. And my dad, because the news, the weather guys, they didn't have a nice fancy green screen to walk in front of and show you what's going on. They had a felt board. And they had all the words and images and cloud things and whatever stuck to the felt board. And when it was time for the weather guy to come out and do his spiel, the F in the word fog had fallen off. So as he walks out, he says right off the bat, "As you can see, there's no F in fog." My dad couldn't stop laughing, and I had to wait quite a while for him to explain, "Oh, what are you laughing at?" Because I was a kid, and I really didn't pay attention, couldn't care less about the weather. So when he explained it to me, I'm like, what? And of course, when you say the word effing, you're abbreviating a nasty word. And so he had to explain it to me and go, it's not a nice word to say, and when you say it like that, it still has a meaning to it. It took me years later to realize, oh, so that's what he was laughing at. But unfortunately, the weather forecaster did his last report because he said something wrong. There's no effing fog. There was no effing fog, but he made it sound like there was no effing fog. There are bloopers on YouTube of reporters, newscasters that say something funny, but they tend to catch them. The people switch to something else real quick so that you don't see a lot of it. The people that I watch on news, they seemingly do just fine. They don't say anything wrong. They've been doing it long enough to understand what to say and what not to say. Then you watch some of the British shows, and they can actually say the word once in a while. Not a lot, but they can actually say that word and a few other words on the odd occasion. Well, this is where I'm going to finish the ride in a park and check all my recordings. And the main thing I need to do is find a shady spot to park. And then I will probably take the GoPro off the top because I'm a bit spooked about losing it again. And I'll see you next time.